In the last 3 months, how many times have you been out in public, seen a cute girl that you're actually attracted to and you wanted to go up to her, but you talked yourself out of it because you thought it might be creepy? You probably can't even count them. Now, how many times did you actually gather up the courage to go talk to her, but then when you did, you got instantly rejected, maybe even got ignored? This is mostly due to the fact that you don't understand the proper structure of an approach. You see, most men think it's about looks, but there's actually psychology behind what takes an approach from being creepy to charming. I'm about to show you the 3 most common psychological mistakes you keep making that's causing the woman to get creeped out, plus how to fix them so that you can instantly get more interest from the women that you approach. Starting with the very first mistake, approaching too close. Proper distance is extremely important when approaching women. You're probably opening way too close and it's starting your interactions on the wrong foot. I mean, dude, there's just no reason you should be opening this close to the girl. Like, you're gonna scare her straight away and then she's gonna walk away from you more than likely at that point. Even if you manage to recover at that point and actually keep the girl's attention, you're still starting the interaction on the wrong foot. So she's just gonna say thank you and move on about her day the majority of the time. If you wanna get her attention and keep it, I recommend starting at a much safer distance. Far enough that if you were to reach out your arm and the girl were to reach out her arm, you still wouldn't be able to touch each other, except maybe your fingertips. What this does is, first of all, when you say, excuse me, you're not raising the girl's alarm straight away and putting her on the defense. And secondly, it allows her to look up at you, see you from a safe distance, decide that you're not a threat, so she can actually come to a complete stop while she's still, in front of you, and you're neither one of you is like having to look over your shoulder awkwardly. Understand that humans, not just women, we judge a book by its cover. So when you say, hey, excuse me, and she looks up at you, she's gonna be able to see how you're dressed, how your body language is, like if you're smiling, and what your grooming is like. And that might sound like a lot, but this actually happens very quick. It's like half a second. But you need that half a second to stop women more consistently. See, the problem with opening too close is that you're already at an unsafe distance from the very beginning of the interaction. So there's just no time for her to look up at you. You're ruining your opportunity from the get-go. So the first mistake is opening too close. And that pairs up very closely with the second mistake, which is opening at the wrong angle. So one thing you need to understand before you're able to open at the right angle is that once you get the girl's attention, she's not gonna stop walking straight away. I mean, think about it. She's in her own little world going about her day, and then some stranger says, hey, excuse me. Why would she stop right away? Like, she's not expecting that. The girl's not just gonna stop in her tracks immediately. Like, that's unrealistic. Realistically, she's gonna take at least 2 or 3 more steps. So with that being said, if you open directly next to her, even if it is at a safe distance, she's gonna begin to walk away from you. So opening directly next to her is not a great idea, but trying to jump directly in front of her is not a good idea either. You do not want to jump directly in front of the girl and physically stop her from walking. This is gonna make her feel very uncomfortable, very unsafe, and it's gonna activate her defense mechanism straight away. I witnessed this firsthand when I was coaching my client Dalton. He was approaching by jumping directly in front of women. And I remember this one interaction in particular. There was 2 girls walking together, and I told him, hey, go stop them. Once you hook the interaction, I'll come in and distract the friend. So leading up to this point, I was watching his interactions from a little bit of a distance, but because I was actually gonna jump into this interaction, I was standing somewhat nearby, and it allowed me to actually see the girl's reaction from my position. So Dalton decided to approach them by jumping directly in front of them and physically stop them from walking, even though I just told him not to do that. And lo and behold, the conversation did not hook. Not only did it not hook, but I could actually see in the poor woman's facial expression just how creeped out they were. They literally looked at each other like, it was so bad. So then they tried to walk around him, but to make matters worse, he actually cuts them off from walking around him and literally corners them against the wall. I was like, dude, what are you doing, bro? It was very hard to watch. But if opening next to them isn't the answer, and opening directly in front of him also isn't the answer, then what's the right angle? How am I supposed to open? The correct positioning is to be next to the girl, but slightly in front of her, like at a diagonal angle. And this applies whether you're actually catching up to the girl from behind, or you guys are walking towards each other. This is perfect because when the girl takes those 2 or 3 more steps that I was just talking about earlier, she's actually gonna be walking towards you now. Like if you say you're walking walking and you say, excuse me here, she takes those 2 or 3 more steps, she's now coming closer to you. And as you can imagine, this is a much more powerful way to start the interaction than her actually like walking away from you. Moreover, this is actually gonna give her the option to continue walking if she wants to, which is gonna prevent the instant activation of her defense mechanism. You see, ironically, women are more likely to stay and talk to you if they actually feel like they have the option not to. Think about it like this. Imagine you walk into an establishment looking to buy something. It could be a car dealership, it could be a Gucci store, it could be anything. The moment the salesperson walks up to you and asks, can I help you find what you're looking for? No, thank you. You immediately shut them down, even though you actually walked in with full intention of buying something. Why is that? Humans don't like to feel like they're being sold. You want to be able to browse your options, see what you like, and make a decision without feeling like the decision is forced onto you. Dalton and I spent the rest of that session practicing proper distance and positioning, and by the end of it, he was able to talk to a girl for up to 10 minutes and land a phone number. If you want to be able to perfect your distance and positioning so that you can approach women with confidence and land phone numbers, just like my client Dalton, then click the link in the description. The third mistake is not smiling. Almost every single man I've coached in the last 4 years does not smile enough. And this is single-handedly the most unattractive habit you can have. The misconception is that smiling makes you look weak. No, dude. Smiling does not make you look weak. You need to smile to attract the woman. There's literally no way around that. Smiling is what makes you welcoming, charismatic, charming, the opposite of creepy. It's what lowers their guard when approached by a random man on the street. Don't forget that you are a complete stranger and women are already concerned for their safety. That's why they carry around pepper spray, something you've never probably considered in your entire life. That's why they go to the bathroom together with their homegirls, something that if you tried to do with your homeboy, he'd probably call you gay. So with that being said, how do you think the girl's gonna find you attractive when you look like this? Hey, excuse me. Your face is dead and you're creeping the girl out. This is why you always get the I have a boyfriend response. Newsflash, she doesn't have a boyfriend. You're just creepy as fuck. And the girl is dying to get away from you. Okay, so you need to smile when you approach the girl, man. Like, just notice how much more inviting this is. Hey, excuse me. You walked right by me back there and I just thought you were really cute. Like, I had to catch up with you and say what's up real quick. I'm with Johnny. Now look, if you apply everything I just discussed in this video, you will be able to get into more interactions with women without making them uncomfortable or creeping them out. But this will only get your foot in the door to start interactions. If you want to learn how to hold an engaging conversation with a woman from there so you can actually keep her interest, then click the video that's on screen now. But if you're done sitting around watching content, you want to be the man who actually takes action, then click the link below and apply to work with me personally. In order to keep the coaching personal and results focused, I'm only opening 5 slots right now. So if you're serious about changing, then submit your application. If you're a good fit, I'll be in contact with you soon.